Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday, August 26th. Okay, so let's take a look at the ES here this morning. So in the overnight, not much happening other than covering the range. Let's look at this on a shorter time frame. So very interesting times in the market. So you had a little bit of topping out here. So in the after hours, you had this move that covered kind of the range from yesterday. Today, we've got a little bit of it coming in, at least for the early going. Let's take a look at the calendar and refresh our memory here. So this morning, you've got GDP jobless claims. Tomorrow, you've got Jackson Hole and Jerome Powell speaking at 10 Eastern. I would just anticipate some volatility today. As far as range is concerned, look, you're getting some reaction right now to GDP. So, what are we looking at? Well, obviously we're looking at a reaction. So I don't know if this is algos just firing off or not, but real time you can see it's trying to figure out what it wants to do and make a move. Let's take a look at this thing. We know that the meter is pretty overheated right here. So I'm not crazy about getting long anything from a long-term standpoint, unless the stock has its own merit. For example, we were looking at Zillow as a long for a longer term, which obviously that's a different scenario. But you've got your RSI and CCI starting to curl over. You have a meter that's in the 60s. As far as a range is concerned, if I just come in a little bit closer and take a look at this, you can see you had that initial reaction that we just saw, and you've got some bouncing. So as far as like a range is concerned, I'm going to click back here to a 15-minute time frame. So the top of the box obviously was the most recent high, which was yesterday at this 44.98.61. Bottom of this range from a short time frame, 44.77 and 48. And then if it wants to pull and curl in more, you've got the 44.55.37 level. You've got a fib here at this 44.76, pretty close to what we just talked about. Let's take a look at this on the daily again real quick. And then, we talk about this all the time. Something that you should be aware of is, what's the potential? What's the potential of the range? So the potential of the range, obviously you've got the fib, the 8, and then you start getting into our anchors. And then the anchor here from this low is now lining up with the 21, right? I listened to Jesus talk the other day about if there is a rollover and a pullback in the market, everybody wanting a 10% type of pullback. And I think in his mind, he's got something that could be more drastic than that. I don't necessarily disagree with his sentiment. And a pullback, let's say to the 200, it wouldn't necessarily come as a huge surprise, and it certainly wouldn't be that big of a pipe cleaning, right? I mean, that only comes back to the May low. So I'm always thinking in the back of my mind, okay, what could happen? And that's why that's what I put in all of these anchored VWAPs, just to look for places where it could check up, just in case there's some type of a big pull, right? So black swan events are black swan events because we don't know what's going to happen. It's really pointless to try and figure out what that could be. That's really difficult to prognosticate that. So for the time being, just use the ranges, base your individual names on their own merit. I think on the high, I don't know if we retest that again today. And I think it's probably going to be left up to what type of commentary Jerome Powell has and how people react to it. Okay, so here's your SPY. This old fib needs to be redrawn. Obviously, we want to come up off of it and use the most recent low. And we'll use this most recent high to move it from. So you can see getting close to extension on the SPY as well. Excuse me, but we're going to have a little bit of a pull and or chop here this morning, but we'll keep an eye on it and see what happens. So that's what I've got for you this morning, you guys, and happy trading. We'll talk to you guys in the room.